All right, today we are setting up your very first Playwright environment. And we're going to do it the fast way, the professional way. Let's dive right in.
Look, we've all been there, right? It's the night before a big release, and what are you doing? You're manually clicking through every single user flow again. It is slow, it's boring, and let's be honest, it's super easy to miss something. There's got to be a better way.
Manual testing is kind of like trying to find your way around a new city with one of those old paper maps. But the smart way, the Playwright way, that's like having a GPS that not only gives you the fastest route, but literally drives the car for you. And it'll drive it across multiple cities, or in our case, browsers, at the same time. It is fast, it's reliable, and it's perfectly repeatable every single time.
So let's get into the solution. And I want you to think of Playwright as more than just another library. Think of it as your brand new professional-grade toolkit for web automation, built from the ground up to make your job a whole lot easier. So what is it, really? Well, Playwright is a complete end-to-end framework. And what that means is it's not just one little piece of the puzzle. It bundles everything you need, the test runner, the assertions, all the tooling, right out of the box, so you can build really powerful and stable tests from day one. And this slide right here perfectly illustrates the big idea. It's a simple two-step assembly. First, you run a command to get the empty toolbox. That's the Playwright library itself. Then, you run a second command to fill that toolbox with the actual tools you need, which are the browser engines. Simple as that. Okay, let's move to the fun part and see how this all comes together. You are just two simple commands away from a full-blown test environment ready for automation. But wait, before you type anything, here's a little insider tip you won't find in most tutorials. Always, and I really mean always, start by creating a virtual environment. This keeps your project's dependencies totally isolated. It prevents nasty conflicts with other projects, and honestly, it's just what the pros do. All right, with your virtual environment activated, it is time for step one. You're just going to run pip install playwright. This command goes out to the Python package index, grabs the core Playwright library, and installs it neatly into your isolated environment. This is you getting the toolbox. And now for the magic. Step two is to simply run playwright install. This one little command is what makes Playwright so incredibly powerful. It automatically goes and downloads the specific version-matched browser binaries for Chromium, Firefox, and WebKit, which is the engine behind Safari. And just like that, you have this. 3 major browser engines all installed and ready to go. No more hunting for browser drivers, no more wrestling with complex configs. This single step saves hours of headaches. Seriously, your future self is going to thank you for this. Okay, the heavy lifting is done, all 2 commands of it. So let's celebrate a little and run our very first test to see this whole setup in action. Now, what's really great is that Playwright doesn't just leave you with an empty folder. The installation often scaffolds a little mini project for you. This gives you an example test file, a config file, basically a perfect starting point so you can start writing meaningful tests right away. And here's what a basic script looks like. It's super clean, right? You just import the library, you launch a browser, in this case Chromium, create a new page, go to a URL, and then close the browser. It's readable and incredibly straightforward. Now this is where the real power becomes obvious. Want to run that exact same test in Firefox? You just change one word. Chromium becomes Firefox. Want to test on WebKit, which is Safari's engine? Just change it to WebKit. That's it. That is true cross-browser testing made dead simple. But here's where it gets interesting. Because even with a setup this simple, almost everyone, and I mean everyone, makes this one classic mistake when they're first starting out. You will see this question all over developer forums, I guarantee it. Someone runs pip install playwright, they write their first script, they hit run, and boom, it immediately fails. It says it can't find the browser. And the frustration is real. So what's the deal? It's this crucial point right here. They forgot the second step. Remember our analogy? They installed the toolbox, but they forgot to put the actual tools inside. Pip install playwright gives you the Python library. Playwright install gives you the browsers. You absolutely need both. Okay, let's wrap this all up with the key takeaways. This is your Pro Starter Kit that will put you on the fast track and help you skip all those common pitfalls. Just burn these 3 things into your memory. 1. Isolate first. Always start with a virtual environment. 2. Install in 2 distinct steps. get the library, then get the browsers. And 3, start using that cross-browser power immediately. You've earned it.
And that's really it. You've totally got this. Mastering this professional setup puts you on a solid foundation, and it lets you skip the common frustrations that trip up most people when they're new to automation.
So, your toolkit is ready to go. The only question left is, what will you automate first? In our next explainer, we are going to dive into CodeGen, Playwright's amazing test generator that literally writes the tests for you. Thanks for tuning in.